Hey, all right, you wild urban gardeners, groovy gardeners, and every other kind of gardener out there. Gonna do a really quick walkthrough of my gardens. Super quick. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time talking about stuff. I kind of just want to record what it all looks like because it's been a really late spring and it gives me an idea of where things are at and how they change. So here we go. Snow peas, carrots, I reseeded. A blank area that will become beans, leeks, spinach. Switch over to this side. We've got beets at two different stages, right? Bigger beets that I planted earlier and little ones that I threw seeds in the ground, and they are just coming up. You can see them in there. All right, remember the onions that I planted a while ago? They are looking dandy. Probably need to be weeded again. All right, so leeks, remember these guys? They came out of the greenhouse. This is assorted spinach and greens. So there's spinach, there's kale, there's some mustard greens. I'm going to throw lettuce in. I'll just keep switching stuff out in there, except for kale because it'll never stop growing. Celery, remember those celeries in the greenhouse? They've settled in. This is a dill patch, which is beside the asparagus that I'm now letting go to seed. If we go directly across, oh my gosh, what is that? It's a green alien. No, it's the raspberry patch. You know what I said about like raspberries, world domination, they want to control? Yep, so they really fill things in. Love the raspberries though, love the raspberries. So, yep, dill, asparagus. Once again, more beets. It's a mix of ones that I planted earlier. I've eaten a few of the biggest ones and seeds that are coming in. Over here, yellow zucchini. They got planted right before that last chill, so they're a little cranky, but I think they'll be okay. Swiss chard, and a bunch more onions at different stages, right? So there were onions that I planted much earlier, and then I was gifted some onions, so in they went as well. All right, so let's go check out a back row while we're here. Okay, everything looks really beautiful right now because it was just transplanted, so please don't think that I'm like super awesome gardener. They had been hardened off, they've been sitting outside for a while, but let's see how they look in a week, after they've dealt with cold and wind and everything else. So various green and yellow beans. In behind them is corn. And then obviously corn, 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 corn. There are 30 corn plants in here. And no, I'm not using the textbook spacing because blah, blah, blah. Right? This is not a field of corn. I don't have to get machinery through it. Over here, green zucchini. And then this black piece, I had to move my plot and it's really dense mint and grass under there. So I'm going to let it kill down a little bit more. I might actually plant all my other squash into that and then just let it roam around between the corn. And then in between the corn where the mulch is, I'm going to put some pole runner beans. So we've got some just bush beans down here. They're going to helpfully feed a little nitrogen into the soil for my corn because the soil's not great here. And away we go. Let's go take a look at some of the back rows, the other black rows. All right, so we're down here to the permaculture section. Obviously filled in quite a bit. Let's see if we can see it from this side. All right, so lupins that were rescued are absolutely incredibly happy. Lavender's looking beautiful. Everything else is just waiting. I think it'll be a zinnia patch. Strawberries are absolutely bonkers. I've had my first strawberries and they were magnificent, and everyone is so full of berries and there's blossoms everywhere and the plants are huge and the berries are huge and I'm super happy. All right, and in here, I'm not sure if you can see them, blueberries. We've got my blueberries are starting to sprawl out and take over and do nicely. Yeah, look at the size of these strawberry plants. Okay, remember Pretty Haskell bush? Well, look how big the strawberries are. They've grown way up, but she has a whole bunch. I don't know if you can see them. She has lots and lots of hascaps. I have been eating hascaps now since I came up yesterday, and I'm going to have a bunch before I leave today. They're delicious, and I really appreciate her growing them for me. So very excited. Having strawberries, yeah, look at them. Amazing. Down here, we've got the rhubarb section. Summer raspberries are getting their feet under them. I'm guessing by next year they'll be very groovy. Yeah, blackcurrant bush. Yeah, okay, we'll call it a bush. She's gotten huge. I pruned her way back. She was like really tidy and outside the lanes, and she's massive now, and she has zillions and zillions of black currants all over her. I will make a ton of jam out of that. All right, I remember our little boys in the orchard, or gang. Okay, so yeah, everybody has gotten really tall. The red and black currants in the orchard section are all quite big now and very pleased. Back onion section, doing great. Okay, not doing great. I kind of ignored it, but I will fix it up and I will plant some more stuff. All right, this is going to be back cucumber section. These guys went in before the cold and they're not happy, but they are surviving. I have more that I'm ready to put in, and I will cut holes and put them in beside. That will be back cucumber section. These are the last of the poor struggling tomatoes that went into the ground. My guess is they will recover nicely. They were planted very deep and they'll do just fine. So over here, spring garlic. Yeah, it's not as big as everybody else's in the garden because they all planted in the fall, but whatever, man. My back was injured, so we planted now. And it's spring garlic, and it will be ready later, but it will be garlic, and that's what matters. All right, the herb section, obviously, well established and doing great. Okay, so sage is just about to go to flower. In a couple of days, that will be a stunning, stunning pink. Then the purple of the oregano will come out. The walking onions are really getting ready to go walking. Chive flowers are in. I collect those and blend them with butter and garlic and put them in the freezer so that I can use them all winter. The thyme seems to have totally recovered from having been separated. And parsley, I'm so proud of you. Parsley had a tough go in the cold, but it is kicking butt now because, of course, parsley's got really deep roots and it's like a grass. So once it gets in there, if the roots stay alive, nothing's going to kill it. All right, so in a quick look down here, we've got tomatoes. I'm going to come back and do another piece on the tomatoes tomorrow, or actually in 2 days after they've had some rain, but there's a whole pile of tomatoes in there. Once again, more raspberries. And let's take a quick walk back on up here. So raspberries, we've got tomatoes. See? So yeah, these are like the tomato dudes who, once again, were like, these were the ones who were the first one out, the earliest. They endured all the cold, all the nights under the plastic. That's them. All right, then this is going to be, all right, we saw the onions and the beets before. This is the cucumber section, and there's lots of straw down because I hate trying to find cucumbers in amongst grass and other weeds. It's dismal. And then up here, this little spot is going to be squash because they can all share the straw and get along. And then up here, we've got pepper section, and then scarlet runner beans. We'll put their string up soon, and they will make a beautiful little display at the beginning. So there you go. Let's walk back on out. Hey, look, we're a wild urban garden in the middle of a wild urban place. And there are people out and gardens getting dug. See, now that's what I mean by beautiful garlic. Oh, I'll have to show you my neighbor's garlic on my next video up. Dude is a genius. I'll see if I can interview him. We don't speak the same language except for plants. He came to give me an instructional on planting my corn yesterday, which I appreciated because dude really knows his stuff. So, anyways, that's the garden. That's the urban. Let's get wild and grow our joy. All right, humans. It's not perfect, but none of us are. We're all just trying. Take care. Love y'all. Bye.